welcome to a Cuppa with So Timeless with me, Rowena. It's so lovely to see you again. Thank you for joining me, those who've been with me before, and those who have just come across me for the first time or are joining me for the first time. Thank you very much, and I do hope to see you again. Please do subscribe below so that you don't miss out on anything in the future, and like the video if you like it. So this video I'm continuing with the review of the Butterick Pattern B6055, which is this one. It's a vintage dress in this lovely straightforward house dress style, but with the gorgeous pocket detail. Bring it up close for you to see. Lovely big pockets there with the little bow detail on the top. I absolutely love the pockets on this dress, and so looking forward to making this. It's been a little bit long. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know I don't do this full time. It's something I do on the side at the moment. I'm hoping to build my business into a full-time business, or at least a part-time business, but at the moment I'm doing what I can when I can. So if there's some gaps in seeing various bits about what I'm doing, I do apologize. But so today I'm on to the step where I'm going to transfer the pattern pieces from the original pattern onto new pattern paper, so that I don't ruin the actual original pattern. That way, the reason for doing this is that way you've always got the original pattern to use. Pattern pieces tear, you might want to make adaptations, etc. And so you can do all of that kind of thing without fear of ruining the original pattern. What I'm going to do is just talk you through a bit about what I'm going to do and the instructions and things that I need for the moment. And then I'll finish the video off with some shots of me doing the actual the transferring of the pattern. And on the next video we'll then come to the cutting out on the fabric and how that goes. So I haven't looked at this pattern yet. I assume most patterns you get in 2 big sheets, unless the skirt's very big and needs a separate sheet altogether, then you might get 3 sheets. But it looks like this one might be, yeah, it's 2 sheets. One there, or is it 3? 2, no, it's 3 sheets. So there's 3 sheets. So I'll have to go through and check each piece. Each piece on a pattern, if you've never used a pattern before, or you just not done sewing before, each pattern piece is labeled with what it is. It's got a coordinating number so that you can coordinate it back to pattern instructions and various things on the pattern envelope. It tells you how to cut it, whether it's on the fold or not. If it's not on the fold, and it shows you where on the fold to cut it. So you can see there it says on the fold. If it doesn't have that, it'll have a line to show you which way the grain should be, so you know how to place your pattern pieces. And it also tells you how many to cut out. So for example, in this one it's cut 1 on the fold. Okay, so we've got 3 sheets. I'll go through those in a bit more detail in a minute when I'm finished talking to you, and then I can start cutting out the pieces. Got the instructions here. I shouldn't need these just for the moment. That's going to be more when I'm cutting out the fabric and for things like layouts, etc. Although I tend to lay out in my own way to use as much of the fabric as in the best way possible. But when you're very new to sewing, if you are very new to sewing, you might want to have a look at the instructions of what they give you for pattern layouts on the fabric to give you some idea of what you should be doing. And then it'll have the instructions for the sewing as well. So I'll put those away safely for the moment. And this particular pattern is in size 14 to 22. So you've got the sizes along the top here, showing you which sizes they are. And I'm going to be doing a size 14 initially. And the reason I would just pick a size, do it, and then measure it up at the end to see what the true size is. It doesn't always come out in the size it says on there. Sometimes you're lucky and it's exactly as it says. Other times it may be that it actually comes out as a size 12 or 10 or somewhere in between, or it might come out larger, so it might be more like a 16. So that will be what we'll find out as we go. I've also got my tissue paper here. I really like, I'm not advertising because I don't have an affiliate to this, but I do like this Burda tissue paper, which I think I got this off Amazon, or I might have got it from one of my places where I get fabrics and cottons and things from. I can't remember now, but this is one I particularly like. I've used lots of different ones in the past, but I do like this one in particular, and I find it's easy to see through when I'm doing the tracings, so it's thin enough to see through easily, and also it's thick enough that it lasts pretty well and doesn't tear very easily. So there are lots of different ways you can go about tracing the pattern. Some people will put it up on a big window like this one behind me, stick the pattern up, pop the pattern paper you're tracing onto over the top, and then stand and draw it all out. And it just, with this light shining through from the back, shows much easier. I do it on my table. I lay it out all nice and flat. I do one, if I can, one big piece. If I'm using up little pieces, I will use up little pieces because I don't like wasting. So I'll use up bits and pieces that I've got already of pattern paper, and cut out the pattern pieces, whatever suits you. And there are some other methods as well that people use. Some people will actually cut out the pattern pieces and then transfer them on. It depends how many different sizes you're planning to make of the pattern. And if you're not 100% sure, if you're not very good at measuring to make sure the size is the size it says or what size it's going to come out, then that might not be the best idea, because once you cut, you lose certain shapings and markings. So the reason I do it is because I sew in different sizes for my business, so I want to keep the original pattern as it is. I have a pencil for tracing. I have a pattern maker ruler. It actually is just called a metric pattern maker. Because when you're tracing off the curves and things, it's quite handy if you've got something to help you do the curves as you're going, just to make things a little bit more accurate. It also has the straight edged ruler here, but the measurements on this are a little bit strange, as in they start on 0 in the middle and then work their way out to each side. So I've got a normal ruler as well in case I want to measure anything for changes, etc., or if I'm just marking things up. You've got to remember to trace off your pattern markings as well. It's all very well you trace off your pattern pieces and then you cut them all out and you don't have the actual markings on them. So dart markings, any seam markings that are important, any extra little bits of markings that you might need, make sure that you do actually transfer those markings onto the new pattern pieces as well, if you are a sewer, if this is what you're going to be doing. And of course I have a scissors for cutting out the actual pattern pieces. This is not my sewing scissors, not my fabric scissors, because we do not use fabric scissors on paper. It blunts them, and then they don't cut out the fabric as well. Another thing is to make sure that your original pattern is actually all nice and straight and flat, because if it's got little creases in that'll fold it up, which I just noticed one here, but I've managed to straighten it up pretty much. There was one along there. Just make sure they are straightened out, because otherwise you're going to have a change in the outside part of the pattern if there's a little a little fold somewhere along the line on the inside. And they can change the pattern quite a bit. So it's a nice area. What some people will do is they'll actually iron the pattern pieces. I've only ever had to do that once, where a pattern piece had so many folds and bits in it that was affecting the way that I was able to work with it, that I ended up having to iron it. But generally you are able to straighten it by hand. So that's all of that. Looking just quickly, these pattern pieces seem to be nice and clear, well marked. If I come across anything as I cut out, I will let you know. But I can't see any, just having a quick basic look. The pattern pieces aren't too big, so I don't know if that's all going to show on the screen. But they're not too big. They're not those humongous, huge, big pieces that you can sometimes get, which is why I think there's 3. So these are going to be nice and easy to work with. They fit on my table really easily without having to move them around. And I've got 3 lots here, so that should be easy enough to work with then. And I'll give you some little short clips of the bits as I go along and cut this out today. And then I will be back for more of the review once I'm ready to cut out on the fabric, and that'll be at a later day. I don't have time today for that, unfortunately. I'm hoping to just actually get the pattern cut out today, hoping I've got enough time to finish that. So lovely to see you as always, and I hope to see you again soon. And I am going to crack on and get this done. And as I said, I'll put some little shots in to end the video off, but I'm going to say goodbye for now. Goodbye.